Welcome back to MLG in Columbus, Ohio. We just saw game number one between SaSe and MC. SaSe, I get the aggressive play, but MC's got too much experience, it looks like, with that. We're going to have to see how they fare now in game number two. So going on into the game here, as you can see in the bottom left starting location, we have our player with solid defense, and really good understanding of how to hold off those all-ins. The Kratos Protoss MC. In the upper right on the map, Shakras Plateau, we have our blue Protoss, a player who's been training in Korea for quite some time, yet is not a Korean, SaSe.
Well,
Artosis, talk to me.
all right, Tasteless. I gotta say, SaSe actually has pretty good PvP, but he falls back on his micro a lot. You'll see this guy do a lot of Blink Stalker builds and a lot of one basing because, well, he wants to out micro you. But that game, it just didn't work out. You know, you've got to know when you see that robo with your observer to get out of there. He was completely hinged on that and just got destroyed, unfortunately. So he needs to be a lot more careful this time and know that MC has some of the most powerful, abusive builds that PvP can offer.
Yeah, PvP to me really is the matchup that MC is able to just dominate so heavily in. He's got a very strong grasp. He knows when it's time to attack and when it's time to defend. SaSe's builds, he strikes me as much more of a technical player.
That's quite true. And, well, everything looks pretty standard as far as timings here. A little bit quicker scout from MC. And of course you have to be careful on this map. Proxies happen quite often here. And you're going to want to scout that out. So either you can scout quickly and see where your opponent is, scout the edges of your base. You have to do things like that. But we aren't really seeing that from SaSe here. It looks like he's going to do a very intense build in the early game. It's going to basically... it'll have the units he needs to hold off proxies, and in fact, see, he is starting a Zealot right away, and a very quick second gas.
Okay, SaSe's got something special in store for us, but sometimes even not seeing that scouting probe, in other words, the fact that SaSe neglects to send out a unit to scout can give MC a certain degree of information.
Yeah, and in fact, that is a second gateway Tasteless. So with two gateways, really quick two gas, it looks like we're going to see at least 3 Stalkers pop out, I would say. And definitely some pressure from SaSe, but what is he going to go into from here? My guess, probably a Twilight Council.
The probe does manage to escape, and we are all waiting, biding our time, trying to see what is the special strategy that SaSe has planned for us. To take a look here, Artosis.
Yep.
Only 2 probes in this gas.
3 in that.
3 on that. So this is a very precise, calculated build.
Yeah. If you're going to make a ton of Stalkers, that's kind of what you want. You know, there's even a possibility he'll go up to a 4-gate from here, which would be a little bit crazy because he's already shown a double gas. And SaSe, again, he actually balances gas economy better than anyone else for Protoss.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, going back over to SaSe's base, we have the Twilight Council.
Yep, that's pretty common. I mean, you already see him making a lot of Stalkers. Whenever you open with 2 gateways early on, that's going to lead into a lot of Stalkers. So going right up to that blink is a great idea for him. Now, MC, though, is going Robotech, and this is like the classic duel of PvP. It's the Robotech versus Twilight.
And I believe there's going to be a 3rd gateway in here. Yes, there is. So, after he identifies his opponent has blink, he may, very well. Oh no, losing the probe is so huge. He may very well go for blink of his own. That's a very easy counter against something like that. Since you already have the accompany, the Immortals accompany. He may have the force field here. Let's see if he does.
Nice force field trapping these 2 Zealots up high, trying to pull him back so his Stalkers can help out. Oh, a beautiful run back there with that Stalker. Could have gotten trapped, but he did in fact save it. And it looks like those 2 Zealots will go down at the price of 1 Zealot.
Man. So much damage being dealt to these Stalkers. 2 that are totally bruised. The sentries under fire, but no sentries destroyed as 3 red Stalkers retreat.
That is pretty crazy, Tasteless. His blink only halfway done, adding another gateway, and that's going up to 4. So he is going to go heavy aggression with these gateways.
I just don't see this game being too different from game number 1.
Yeah, it is actually pretty similar in a lot of ways. SaSe put on early pressure, went up to blink, but this time no observers. So this is just going to be a full frontal attack. Unfortunately, he's got a lot of damage on those stalkers, and this Immortal could deal a ton of damage there. Oh, he almost takes one out, but he does get away.
More and more Immortals are chrono boosted out. The more Immortals chrono boosted out, the lower the chances are of a blink stalker all in being effective. Let's see if he can get in there before that second attack. Nice force fields microing back, and SaSe, his army being chiseled away bit by bit.
In fact, it is another couple Zealots coming in to go up the front of the ramp and tank some extra damage, especially from those Immortals. But 2 Immortals out right now, and he's going up that ramp. A nice orbital by him. He's trying to target his Immortals on Stalkers.
Oh my God!
Wow.
This is just brutal. He is shredding up SaSe's army as we are seeing SaSe's army splash up over and over again to MC's army. But look, it's all about these Immortals. Stalkers are just not good at them. He makes now SaSe a few more Zealots to go up the ramp and try to tank that damage. Let's take Stalker and Immortal HP here. One Immortal getting low, going down. The second remains.
Zealots giving a ton of damage there, and it looks like SaSe actually will overwhelm. MC unable to hold after he runs out of shield. Looks like he wants to try to stay up at the top of the ramp, but there are way too many units out now for SaSe. He should be able to take this game easily.
Yeah, that was a smart move. Essentially, it boils down to those Zealots at the front absorbing the Immortal shots here. And it looks like in this case, we're going to be going on to game number 3.
Yeah, and it looks like MC's just going to have to GG pretty quickly here. Another Immortal does pop out. Working so well against the Stalkers. But MC trying to hold on. He says, you know, I have the next side. I do have an Immortal out still. Maybe I can win this. But, you know,
we do not have
looking so good.
Yeah, we do not have the second Immortal on the way here. We've got the force field, yeah, like yesterday. If he wants to survive this game, I'm sorry, man. Move to the next like that. It looks a little bit like he was going to hold it, but nope. GG. And that will bring us now into game number 3. The Blink Stalker all in. I didn't think it was going to work, but you know, I learned a little bit something there with using the Zealots to push into the front.
Yeah.
That was the moment.
No, the 4 Zealot warp in. If it was like a 2 Zealot warp in with 2 more Stalkers, I think MC might hold it. But also, he was really trying to hit Stalkers with those Immortals. He was just running them up against Zealots, and Zealots have the highest damage per second output in that Protoss army. So you really can't let them be attacking on your Immortals.
Yep, you're absolutely right. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to see who's going to win the final match between MC and SaSe, so stay tuned.